You have to get your best chance of winning is to get full-blown left Democrats out to vote. And they don't come out to vote for half-assed measures.
No. What's the point?
People are fucking suffering in this country. They don't make enough money. They don't have health care. They're fucking going bankrupt. There's no jobs. They're not coming out to vote for Joe Biden, brother. He sucks dicks.
Dude, he can barely form a cohesive sentence. So when you ask him an actual tough question...
He said that he was attacked by a man named Corn Pop.
No, and he's
insane.
And then he starts adjusting your jacket like he's a mob boss.
That was pretty... Okay, like, that was epic, though.
Not to me, dude.
I thought it was epic.
Like, why are you touching this guy?
Welcome to another episode of the Entitled Millennials. This is episode number 22. I got John Boy here hanging out, and we actually have our new producer, Roman Gonzalez, in the house today to switch the cameras for us. And Roman is Hispanic, which tells you that we are an equal opportunity employer. So I just want to put that out there for everybody to enjoy it, so they know. All right, no discrimination here. We got a good show for you guys. We're going to talk about the China coronavirus outbreak. We had a local guy who's involved in politics blaming Bernie Sanders on the Status Quo YouTube channel about blaming Bernie Sanders for him for the election getting lost in 2016. We had a Fox News analyst calling it quits on the show, calling it a propaganda machine. DNC is preparing for a contested convention. Biden gets physical with the Iowa voter over a pipeline question, and French firefighters clashing with police over pay and benefits. I want to start by doing a shout out to all of our new subs. Guys, we're getting 5 a day now. If we continue to get 5 a day up until June 30th, July 1st, we'll hit 1,000 subscribers, which is our goal. I think we can do it. So to all of you guys that have joined us, I really appreciate it. You guys have probably, those of you who are new to the channel, I've talked to you on like Rational National, We Are Change, Jimmy Dore Show, Kyle Klinsky. I met you guys there. And I really appreciate the conversations we've had in the comments, and I'm super glad that you guys are with us. So shout out to you guys. You guys make this possible. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, help us grow. Tell your friends, join our Facebook page at facebook.com/entitledmillennials. If you'd like to further support the podcast, subscribe to the Patreon at patreon.com/double_D. There you can access all of my written work, including poetry, flash fiction, and full-length short stories. All for less than what you spend on a cup of coffee or lunch every day. To further support the podcast, check out our sponsor, Bingley's Teas at janeaustinteas.com. There you can find high-end teas hand-picked and mixed by the lovely Miss Julia. Or visit Julia in person at 118 East 26th Street, suite number 208, to satisfy that deep tea addiction and to be taken on a tea tour of the world. All right, guys, let's jump into episode number 22 now. All right, Johnny, so I'm sure you've heard about everybody's heard by now about the Chinese coronavirus outbreak going on. Have you heard much about it? You looked into much?
Just seeing that video of the doctor like freaking out because they keep sending him patients and he doesn't have room.
Yeah.
And there was one of like a woman like screaming for them to like save her.
Are you serious? I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I can't remember what channel, but she's like screaming. Yeah, it's messed up.
Jesus Christ.
It's like from a horror movie kind of.
Yeah, so everything, there's not a lot of information out there about what's going on, where it started. There's speculation. The World Health Organization, or the WHO, is hesitant to call it a global pandemic just yet. But I'll give everybody a little bit of a backstory on what we do know. On December 31st of 2019, the WHO discovered there was an unknown virus behind a number of pneumonia cases that were popping up in Wuhan, which is a eastern Chinese city with like a population of 10 or 11 million. Since then, there's now like 6,000 people around the world infected. There's been 132 deaths within a month. There's 30 million people in Wuhan and the surrounding area under quarantine. Flights are suspended. Trains are shut down. All kinds of shit, man.
I did see they just flew in a bunch of people from China.
What do you mean?
Like American citizens, they just flew in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I think trapped there, but they've been like tested like 20 times.
Yeah, and everything seems to be good. I think there was...
Thing is, though, like, we don't know a whole lot about this disease yet, so like I'm pretty sure it's contagious before like signs of it even start to show in people. That's what's scary about it.
Yeah, it's wild, man. And they were saying that it originated at a Wuhan seafood market where there was like illegal wildlife, like exotic pets and stuff being traded. It's the WHO and the Chinese officials think that it probably started with people that were working in that area and they contracted it. They're saying that it's similar to the strain of virus that's found in snakes, but then they went in a little bit deeper and they kind of figured that it was they assumed that it was started in bats, which is like what started supposedly the SARS epidemic back in like 2002, 2003. And I did a little more research about this, and they're saying that it's like 96% identical, this particular strain, to the one found in bats. And the way that they're trying to spin it, to me, it sounds almost like a cover-up, dude.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure we're not going to hear the official stuff, especially from China.
Yeah, because it is found in bats, and it can spread to humans that way. But I was doing some research, man, and there was... Back in like 2016, there was another outbreak, but it didn't go into humans, where like 20,000 hogs died, and they suspect that the hogs caught it from the bats, and then there was just like a mass die-off because they have these confined animal feeding operations there.
This is why you don't want bats in the house, Dylan.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, dude, I remember back in episode 4, when we had this bat in the house and Johnny was like freaking out about it, and he was like convinced that he got bit and like he was gonna die of rabies and shit. And
dude, you don't know when you get bit by them a lot of the times.
No, it is scary, but it's like, what the fuck did you want me to do about the bat?
You and your dad are like casually, oh, we just got a bat. But to me, it's like we have a fucking creature in our house.
Yeah, man.
That would come at us, dude.
He never came at me, really, unless you tried to fuck with him.
He came at me multiple times. No, he fucking trapped me in the kitchen one night.
Yeah. Dude, I remember in like episode 4, there was towards the end of it, you were talking about, you kind of brought up before you brought up the bat, you could see you like zoning out of the conversation, and you were just like fucking with what you thought was a bite on your arm, and you were just like, and then you like kind of blew up on me on the podcast about it being a big deal. And I thought, like, dude, it was fucked up. But anyway, so with this epidemic with the hogs that happened back in 2016, they suspected that it was spread from the bats to the hogs. Luckily, in that instance, it didn't jump over to humans. But what I'm guaranteeing happened, so this apparently started, ground zero, was in a seafood market where they're trading animals. I imagine there's all kinds of livestock there, hogs, maybe cattle, chickens and shit. I'm guaranteeing what happened is they're trying to say it just came from bats, and it probably did start there. But I'm guaranteeing what happened is bats infected hogs, and then the workers go into the seafood market or whatever, and they're selling the hogs, and it came from the hogs. Because it's a lot, from what I've read, it's a lot easier, because humans and hogs are like very similar genetically, and if hogs get a disease, it can spread into human beings like a lot easier than say like a snake or a bat or something, because you're gonna have to outright get bitten by the bat.
You sound like you need to shut your mouth. You're hurting business with these types of talks.
And that's the point that I'm trying to make, dude. Is Johnny and I have done like a lot of activist work against industrial agriculture. We live in Iowa, and we have like serious problems with pollution from hog feces.
Well, our former governor's the ambassador to fucking China because of the hog shit.
Exactly. And as we have seen, as we've seen China grow into more of a modern country and they have more of a middle class, these people that are doing better in life, they want better foods. You know, it's not just rice and like bok choy and stir-fried vegetables and stuff, which is cheap. They want pork, they want chicken, they want beef.
They eat a lot of pork in China. That's like their main
It is.
thing, isn't it?
It is. I mean, dude, pork dumplings and shit, when you dip them in that fucking hoisin sauce, man, that shit's so good, man.
Dude, I saw some, like, not to get off topic about food, but I saw what the street food is like in China.
Mm-hmm.
It looks
and
like
Johnny's like, oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, it does look very good.
But yeah, what I'm guaranteeing is the WHO is like trying to, and it probably did start from bats. I'm not saying that that's wrong, but they're trying to like, they're trying to say that that's just where it started from. But I'm guaranteeing this outbreak wouldn't have happened if these bats didn't infect hogs. And for people who don't understand, there's these things called confined animal feeding operations, where they'll have like anywhere from 1,000 hogs to like 10,000.
Well, even the ones in Iowa are out of control, but in China they're next level. They're like 5 stories.
Yeah, they're huge, man. It's completely insane. And what happens is in these hog confinements, if the cattle or the hogs or the chickens were just kind of like free range and one of them caught a disease, it wouldn't spread as epidemically as it does. But when you got thousands of animals all put just like if you had thousands of human beings put together, if you go to a store and like everybody's in the store all the time, you catch the flu, right? It's the same sort of concept. And I'm guaranteeing, like I said, that these hogs were brought to be sold in the seafood market or whatever, and the workers had already contracted it, because here in Iowa we've had multiple cases of people catching MRSA.
MRSA, you mean?
Is it MRSA?
Pretty sure it is.
Anyway, whatever. They've caught MRSA, the H1N1 virus that was going around in the United States. Dude, all these like big viruses and flus that are coming around, it's because of industrial agriculture, because of the sheer volume of animals coming out. And it gets to the workers, and then they bring it home to their families.
Remember mad cow disease because they were feeding cows other cows?
Yeah, they were grinding up the cows and mixing it in with the feed. Yeah, dude, all these crazy outbreaks and stuff that are happening. SARS that happened in 2003, like I said, the bird flu, it's because of the sheer volume of animals.
Well, I'm surprised they don't do that with the pigs. They must have learned not to feed other animals of their same shit, right?
Yeah.
Because pigs would easily eat other pigs.
Oh, dude, they don't give a fuck, dude. Dude, chickens are the same way, too, man. Like, people don't realize, but chickens are just like little fucking dinosaurs, man.
Yeah.
And I remember my great aunt, she had a farm, and they had like a big like enclosed chicken coop with like 100 chickens. And her husband, who was like 90, he was like, you can go out and play with the chickens.
Yeah, fuck that.
And I was like, okay, because I was like 8, and then I like went in there, and dude, I'm not even shitting you, there was this dead deer carcass like in the center of the thing, and the chickens were like like fucking tearing up this fucking thing, like those little dinosaurs in Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
just eating the fuck out of this thing. And then the door shut behind me and like slammed. And then they were all like, and then they're like, and like started coming after me. And I was like, what? Oh, fuck.
Seems like the female chickens are fine, but the roosters can be fucking dicks.
Oh, dude.
I'm sure they both can be, but.
Yeah, they're fucking wild, man. So, yeah, I don't know if you have any more thoughts about this whole thing, Johnny, but
I don't know. It seems like there's always some sickness that gets overblown to put us in a state of fear.
Well, that's one of the things I was going to talk about is this just like another, and okay, look, it is an emergency, especially in China. There's 30 million people on
Well, we definitely
lockdown.
shouldn't just be having people coming in from China now.
Exactly, and there's 6,000 to 7,000 people already in. And dude, here's the thing: the amount of people that dude, it is like it's spreading at an incredible rate. Because I was looking, the death toll 10 days ago was only 80.
And is it just it's people like of prime age that are dying, right? Like it ain't just like little kids.
I guess I don't know. I'm assuming that it's mostly younger people and old people, but one of the things I'm sure they're concerned about is it is actually fucking up younger people, which is a bad sign.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons that they're especially worried about it is they're trying to develop a vaccine and like antibiotics and yada yada yada. But because of the nature of a coronavirus, it can mutate very quickly.
Yeah, I was listening to something like a vaccine is way off. Like they're not even like really close to getting a vaccine.
Yeah, man. But it is scary. And we were talking about like, is this a mass hysteria? Is it because the news media exists in a way to keep us afraid all the time. That, you know what I'm saying? Like it's more, people buy more and consume more and are more obedient when they're in a state of fear. So is the Western media spinning this to be a bigger thing than it actually is? Maybe. But despite that fact, it is still a huge deal in China. What I was trying to say is 10 days ago, the death toll in China was only 80 people, which is a lot. Like 10 days ago compared to when they first were discovering the pneumonia cases in 29th of December. From 29th of December till like the 20th of January, 80 people already died. Fast forward to the 29th, now it's like 140, 150, and double the amount of total infected people. There's so many sick people that they don't have, like you're saying, room at the hospitals. And I was actually going to, unfortunately, I still can't play video for you guys. Try and get it figured out. There's so much shit that goes into like podcasting and like software and like doing all this video shit. Like it's not just sitting down in front of a microphone. There's all these fucking little hurdles you got to jump through to try to get things right. But I wanted to play for you guys the audio. This is a Chinese doctor in Wuhan on a phone call with presumably another hospital or the military or the government. And they are trying to send him more patients, but he doesn't have room. And obviously it's in Chinese, so we can't understand what he's saying, but I just want you guys to like hear the panic.
Yeah, it's whoever is in charge, higher up than this doctor.
Yeah, this video says Chinese doctor in the city of Wuhan in tears announcing that there are too many cases of sick people.
Is Wuhan, quick question, is that even like one of their bigger cities, or is that just like an average size?
I mean, it's 10 million people,
yeah,
but then
like,
again,
that's the thing.
It is China. What if like, and there's a billion people there, so like China to them is like a Mason city, like,
yeah.
and they're like, oh, it's a small village, and meanwhile it's just packed with fucking Chinese people.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be a lot more freaked out by this if we were in the city that's like locked down. I wouldn't go fucking anywhere.
Oh no, dude, I'd be freaking out, man. Dude, you know what they used to do during the bubonic plague, like back during the Middle Ages, when it got so bad that they were like trying to figure out how to handle it. And what they do when they found out that somebody was sick in there, they would like evacuate the family, and then they would brick up the entrances.
Really?
The city governments would, the guards, they would just brick it up, and then you go by a place where there's like a window exposed, and you just hear them like screaming and like dying in there, and you couldn't help them, you couldn't do anything.
Sounds like a fun time.
Can you imagine being the guy? Yeah, dude. Can you imagine being the guy that's like carrying the bodies away? You always see in like period films, they got the cart that's like shitty, like filled with bodies. How many of those guys were they fucking going through? Because, you know, they're right next to all the bodies and they're getting sick and dying and shit. And hang on a sec, Johnny, I'm going to pull this back because it's clouding your face again.
I like it being caught in my face.
No, here, switch to that camera quick. Yeah, that's better. It's got to be like that, dude. You got a handsome face and people want to see it, all right? Anyway, I want to play this video for you guys. It's a Chinese doctor in Wuhan freaking out. And like I said, we can't understand what he's saying, but just the tone of his voice is terrifying. So let's jump into this here.
我不想回家，我不想回家过年啊！你们做了什么？你们做了什么？你们5个只是看了8个病，看他妈1天4个班，他们我们除了8个门诊去上班，我们不想活。你自己看，你们到底想干什么？你们啊！
Sounds like me when I spilled coffee on myself.
Yeah, you freak out about everything. Anyway, I think you get the picture here. They're freaking out there, man. Like I said, is it a global emergency? Is the media spinning it to make it a bigger deal so that people are afraid abroad? Maybe. I don't think it is necessarily a global emergency yet, but people are suffering and dying over there, and you gotta imagine, like, can you imagine being in a lockdown quarantine thing like that? Here's the thing, you can kind of conceptualize, you know, being in a famine, or being in economic collapse, or even being in a war. You can kind of like conceptualize the fear that's going on in a scenario like that, but can you imagine being in a quarantine city where shit's shut down?
No, I was thinking about that. That'd be fucking scary.
Yeah, man.
Like, I don't know.
And what's terrifying about it is it's something you can't fucking see. You can't stop it. If you're going to get sick, you're going to get fucking sick. You can wash your hands all you want. You can wear a face mask. You can wear goggles. You can never leave your house. But at the end of the day, it's like a fucking demon spirit just stalking the streets, waiting to fucking get inside you and kill your ass. And then imagine like being in a scenario where your fucking kids got it or your wife's got it, and you want to like comfort them and like hold them and be like, it's okay, they're really sick. You can't do that. You have to just lock them in another room, because otherwise you're going to get sick and die too.
Well, that's what's fucked up, really. You'd want to like not even be near them, because you know you could get sick. It'd be a weird ass feeling, you know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, that's scary as fuck, man. That, like, I have a 6-year-old daughter, and I just imagine like if she was sick with something really bad and she's in there crying for her dad, and it's like, I can't do shit.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Well, and also like doctors don't have time to really give you like one-on-one treatment, you know. It's going to be like quick, like they barely look at you because they have 1,000 other fucking people to deal with.
Yeah, man.
Well, and they just built that 1,000-room hospital or something in like 2 days or something. Imagine how
You know what? That's
many regulations they
Oh yeah,
out the window
swept
there.
under the rug. Yeah. Here's the thing. You know what? I was reading an article, kind of going off of what you're saying, and it was on like a pro-communist, like pro-socialist, like page or something. Mm-hmm. So take it with a grain of salt. But they drove an interesting point about the power of socialism when you put people before profits. And say what you want about the Chinese government. Right, they're authoritarian. They do bad shit. People end up fucking missing, and no one knows
I
what.
wouldn't even really call them socialist at this point.
Well, yeah, all right, but
They're just authoritarian.
yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is look at the power of like when the government puts people before profits. What can be done? They built that hospital in like they built a fucking hospital.
Thing is,
like,
though, I wouldn't say it's like putting people before profits necessarily. It's just having total control to the point that you can be like, we're doing this as a government, and then it gets done. Wouldn't really view it as like this
okay, that's
Workers
true.
United socialist thing. It's just an authoritarian government being able to command anything they want.
Yeah, and that's true. And we've talked about this well, imagine that in a concept in the context of a war with America, right?
Yeah,
but
it's fucking freaky.
The point I'm trying to make is, say this same exact thing happened in New York City or Chicago in America. Do you think the response time would be half as good? No. I don't think so, because how many bureaucrats...
Well, because we got more regulations, too. You can't just build a building that fast.
Well, I don't know that would necessarily be an issue during a situation like this. But the point I'm trying to make is, how much would our response time be hindered by bureaucrats and career politicians and corporations and people trying to line their pockets and butter up their careers?
Yep.
Have you seen that TV show, The Strain, that was on Fox about like the vampire epidemic?
I watched some of the first season.
One of the things in that, and it goes with what I'm saying, is how fucking shitty the response time was, because every politician and every department and every single this and that and the bureaucracy like you're talking about had to get something out of the deal rather than just acting to stop it and help people. It was all about, fuck you, I got mine. What else can I get out of this? You know? So it kind of puts things in perspective of, fuck, man. If it happened here in the United States, man, I don't know. But anyway, let's jump into the next thing here, I suppose. Well, I guess before that, I hope things get better over there. I hope they can get under control. It makes me hopeful to see their response time.
They're in my prayers, my nightly.
I hope they are, man. I hope they are. But really though, as far as it being a cause of concern for us in the United States and whatever, I don't know. This is still early on. It's only been a month.
I'm not going to worry about it until there's something to fully be worried about. It's no point.
Yeah, but I guess the thing I want to leave people with on this is a result of industrial agriculture. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. And let me tell you this, the amount of antibiotics that we're dumping into these animals, there's these things called antibiotic resistant superbugs, and we're seeing them. Now, I want you to imagine a scenario where a coronavirus like this takes off and it doesn't respond to vaccines, it doesn't respond to antibiotics, and it mutates, and there's nothing that the modern medical and healthcare system can do to stop it, you're talking the next bubonic plague. Because the only thing we have to stop it is vaccines, is antibiotics, whatever. Imagine that tool's gone because greedy industrialists in the agricultural sector dump copious amounts of antibiotics into animals, and then these viruses mutate in there to be resistant to them. So really, the next global pandemic that kills millions of people, God forbid, let's hope there isn't one, could be because of the greed of corporations. So anyway, jump into the next thing here. So I don't know if we want to say his name or not. Let's try to avoid it, but if we do say his name, we can beep it out. So John and I have talked somewhat.
I mean, he's in the interview. He says his name in the fucking interview, so I don't know if it's not like it's something that's not public.
Okay, that's true. So Johnny and I have been involved in local politics for a number of years now. I guess 4 or 5 years. Kind of crazy to think about that. But we have an establishment Democratic Party here that's every bit as ignorant and self-serving and delusional as the...
Dude, it's just a bunch of, like, crazy people, dude, at the Cerro Gordo. Like, they're not all there. Like, there's bolts loose in all their heads.
Oh, man.
I
know it.
Like, dude, I can't go to these meetings, dude.
I know.
We tried.
And then there's the SJW culture, which just makes it even worse. Like, everybody's got to, like, say their pronouns. I'm not saying my fucking pronouns, brother. I'm not. I know, I love it when
I'm just ask you to, and everyone looks around like, what the fuck?
Oh,
it's all, like,
it's
old
the most
Midwesterners, and it's like, why are you fucking asking? Like, yeah, I'm sure this guy in fucking jeans and, like, looking like a
in
farmer
a Ford hat
wants to say what he identifies as. Like, use your fucking common sense.
Look, bro, all the respect in the world to the transgender movement, man. Okay, 100%. You want to be what you want to be? Fuck it. I don't give a fuck, dude. I love you. Dude, I fucking love drag queens. I love people. Like, dude, I love it. It's great. I love fucking different people, all right? But don't come at me with this shit, brother. Okay? Because if you are a man transitioning to a woman and you're in the state of the transition where, to us, we would still think that you're a man, okay, like just by looking at you, for 100%, I am not going to judge you if right before you speak at a political event, you're like, I like to be referred to as a woman.
Yeah.
I'm going to refer to you as a woman out of fucking respect. 100%. But I ain't doing this fucking symbolic gesture of saying my pronouns.
He, him.
Dude, look at me, man. I'm a fucking man. All right? And like the way I talk, you're going to know by the end of the conversation that I identify as a man by the way I fucking talk. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, getting off subject, I just had to do that rant. But so we had this Democratic Party establishment shit. They're sheeple. Some of them are corrupt. It's the same old shit. It's the same old problem that we have at the national level, but we have it here in our town, and Johnny and I have experienced it intimately. One of these guys that is like he organizes the Iowa Wing Ding. His name's Randy Black. Look, I like the guy a lot. He's a good heart. I
actually don't mind him as a person.
I like him a lot, man. He's a good ass dude. He really is. I have good conversations with him, but he's just like so many other Democrats.
Dude, yeah, man, I want to go off, but I'm not.
You can go off and we can edit it out if you want.
No, we don't need to do that. But
Okay.
It's like, dude, the big thing to these people is that they get to rub shoulders with the fucking powerful people. Like,
Yeah.
you got to decorate the White House Christmas tree.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's badass, actually.
No, but that's like a big ass thing. I know, and I'm sure it's cool, but dude, like...
Well, no, I get it now.
Yeah, but they're willing to support the scumbags just because they get to go to, like, a Christmas party and shake the person's hand, and the person, and, like, Hillary Clinton will act like she remembers you and pat you on the back. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, dude.
No. It's celebrity shit. I can't remember what comedian they were on the Tiger Belly podcast, and they were like, I don't follow politics. It's just Hollywood for ugly people. And it's like, it's straight up true, man. But anyway, Randy Black, God bless his soul, was approached for an interview by the channel Status Coup. They kind of do sort of like what Johnny and I do, but they do more on the ground stuff. Like they actually go there and like do interviews and stuff. And throughout the interview, it ended with essentially Randy Black like accusing Bernie Sanders and Bernie supporters and the toxicity for creating the division.
Yeah, we're the ones that created the division, even though we tried to go to the meetings, the monthly meetings. They say they want young people and shit. But then we got the fucking leader, what's his name? He passed away now, so let's not even bring his name up, but he was the fucking guy in charge.
Don't speak ill of dead, I guess.
At the county level, but he was openly rolling his eyes and scoffing at us simply for asking questions.
Yeah.
Like, here's what the monthly meetings are. They fucking pat each other on the back, like literally. They fucking go around and like gloat about some little bullshit they did. And then they talk about the money they've raised, or I always say the lack of, because they're always like all sad, like we didn't raise much this year.
Yeah.
This month, I mean.
Yeah.
You didn't raise shit because nobody likes you guys. And you guys don't do shit but talk about raising money.
Yeah. And then it's like a bunch of back patting and clapping.
Literal back patting. It's disgusting.
And nothing actually gets done. They don't try to mobilize things to like win county seats or city seats or anything. They don't do any of that.
They just transfer the money to the National Party and don't do shit with it.
They're a fundraising organ for the greater scheme of shit. And that's the thing, dude. The Democratic Party is fucking bankrupt right now. But it's funny because Bernie Sanders has got that flow, baby.
Yeah, nobody wants to give the fucking money, the party money, dude. Nobody. What's the party?
Imagine how much money the Democrats would have to win if they followed the model of Bernie Sanders and the issues of Bernie Sanders. The motherfucker just raised $1.3 million in one day.
Yeah, like why are they? Why
Let
are
me
people
tell you about your money
feel like
problems.
they need to give the party money when you openly like gloat about taking money from the banks and shit?
And then you guys go to these, and then the money gets spent on like these big parties with like
tent party
with fucking Wagyu beef. And,
yeah,
man. Yeah, I want to.
You're gonna get a $10 an hour worker to get your fucking money.
I make $13 an hour, but it makes me feel good that Hillary Clinton got to eat Wagyu beef with Joe Biden at the Liberty and Justice dinner in Des Moines.
Was that what they were eating?
No, probably not. But I'm just saying.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great?
I wouldn't be shocked.
Thank God that I donated. My $20 really helped. It pushed it forward. But yeah, so in this interview, the interview starts out fine, and I actually want to do a shout out to Status Coup. You guys are great. Probably won't watch this, but I dropped a comment on one of your guys' pinned comments. We're from this town. We do a podcast covering political stuff, and now if you guys hear this or you see the comment, man, I'd love to have a conversation over email or over phone with you guys. Maybe do a collab during the future. I know we're a small channel, but we're getting there, all right? But yeah, so the interview goes kind of fine at first. They're agreeing and they're talking, and then, like I said, Randy starts to kind of blame the Bernie supporters and the Bernie campaign and the Bernie bros for costing Hillary Clinton the election. And Status Coup wasn't going to have that. And they did it in a polite way, in a tactful way, but they started to kind of call him on their shit a little bit. And he's like, well, Hillary Clinton won the general election by 3 million votes. It was the Electoral College that fucked it up. And then Randy kind of goes into trying to defend the Electoral College, saying that it's there to make sure that, smaller states with less population have an equal say.
This is the guy who says our healthcare system should be like a lottery system or some shit.
Dude, yeah, I know. Yeah, I remember I used to go to this little cafe, like an old school diner that's literally like super tiny, in our town called Suzy Q. It's a great place. I used to go in there and I'd write for an hour and a half, drink coffee, and then get like some breakfast after. And a lot of these guys would be in there, including Randy Black. And I was having a conversation about like how we need to do this, and I had all these like policies, and we talked about paying off the national debt. I'm like, we could do it by taxing like billionaires and this and this and that. And he's like, no. Here's an idea. Let me tell you this idea. We will pay off the, $14 trillion national debt now? He's like, we will pay off the national debt by instituting a national lottery system. Similar to like a state system, Somehow that's going to pay off.
Dude, and it's like his own concoction idea, but he acts like it's a sound, like been discussed.
Now, a national lottery is a cool idea. I'm not against that. But, bro, what the fuck planet are you
We're
on?
the crazy ones.
I know.
And then, yeah, and he acts like the division only goes our way. Like, we fucking have caused it. Meanwhile, they treat the Bernie people like a cancer. Publicly and openly treat you like shit. And then they wonder why we are like, fuck you back.
Yeah.
It's like we're supposed to just like
we try to be good boys, dude.
Like, yeah, dude, it's ridiculous. They don't, I don't know, they want us and they know they need us, but they don't. They want us to just fall in line.
Yeah. Yeah, but we're not.
Little bootlickers
We're not going to, dude. We're just not. But anyway, yeah, so he's trying to defend the Electoral College. And do you know the name of the guy who is the anchor for Status Quo? He's a black fella.
Not him.
No.
Jordan Sheridan's the main one with the glasses.
I knew that.
That
Okay.
guy's new. I don't really know.
Okay. Well, yeah, he.
I know. I almost liked how he acted like he kind of agreed with Randy at some points to like get Randy to just spout.
Yeah, it was
more
nice.
Stupid crap.
Well done. But yeah, and he tried to defend the Electoral College, and meanwhile they're saying that it's like, dude, the Electoral College is complete bullshit. They appoint like who does the choices and shit. It's
well, that's the thing. It's like a superdelegate system in a way.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck are these people in the Electoral College? They don't tell us that shit.
Yeah, dude, the Electoral College was literally founded or put in by the founding fathers because
Didn't it have something to do with the slave states?
I'm not 100% sure about that, but I can tell you this. The people that founded the United States of America were capitalists, and they wanted to have a modicum of democracy, but they envisioned this country as a republic, similar to the Roman Republic, where it was wealthy patrician senators, landowners, who owned everything and made the decisions for the country. Like, if you actually read the Constitution, we like to think that it's always been like obviously black people couldn't vote, obviously women couldn't vote, but we like to think that it was just straight white males that could vote. The original document says that white males who own land can vote. And then, like, it was changed pretty shortly after that. That's like one of the first amendments, I think. But the Electoral College was invented to make sure that the ruling class and industrialists and landowners were able to, if they really, it was invented so that mob rule didn't take place, democratic rule didn't take place. It was to make sure that the landowners may cede some power, but never really do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they ended up tearing into Randy Black and brought up some really good questions that are going on in our democracy right now, and I really appreciated that. And it's just kind of it was great to get that out there because it was in Johnny and I's experience, a microcosm of the national politics.
Well, yeah, and not even Randy Black, and I'm not even going to mention this woman's name.
And just in case Randy Black watches this, dude, I like you, man. You're a great guy, and you're a smart dude. The perspective isn't there, man. We just see things way differently.
You know how to lose. I'm sorry. That's all I'm going to say. Like, you know how to lose to
Johnny
Republicans.
fucking throwing that shade.
You do. You know how to lose to Republicans. I'm just saying. Like, what do we do constantly at the state level? We lose because we have a Hillary Clinton staffer running the Iowa Democratic Party.
Yeah, and this is what?
Fucking
I was
ridiculous.
trying to be nice, but Johnny's a savage, and I fucking love it. But,
Anyway, also, one other thing.
What's up?
This other woman who's a higher up in the Cerro Gordo County Party, she keeps sharing shit about Trump wanting to like make cuts to Social Security. Then who is she backing?
Biden.
Joe Biden.
Joey.
But it's not the same when a Democrat like Biden does it. That's just Joe being Joe.
Joey.
Even though he talks about means testing Social Security, which is a fucking cut.
What is that exactly? Means testing, if you had to describe it.
It's just another way to do a cut, dude. I don't know exactly. It's more complicated than it sounds.
Purposely complicated.
But dude, yeah, it's just these people. I don't know, man.
Yeah, and you know what? Like I said, I was going to try to be nice and whatever, but like, you guys at the local level of the Democratic Party, you have to understand that it ain't going to happen how it was anymore. You got to let us. You guys are getting older. You're going to retire soon. This is our time. This is our country. We're the ones that are going to be making the decisions. And you need to realize there's a reason why we keep losing local seats, state seats, national seats. It's because you're not listening to what the people actually want.
Look at who runs our fucking state. Because people would rather have these scumbag theocratic right-wingers than people like you. And you guys aren't in the right.
If
You're
you
wrong.
guys go full force and embrace the social policies, Medicare for all, a Green New Deal, infrastructure rebuild, no more wars. If you really go full force on these things, you will win elections. I know you try to think that because of the Republicans that you have to play the center field and shit. Dude, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. People want you to have conviction and not compromise. And that's not, you go full bore on the policies. We're going to do this, we're going to do this. And if you end up in a divided state house or Congress having to make some compromises, then yeah. But you start at the full end of the left, trying to get the main thing done, the full picture done. And maybe if at the end you don't get there, that's one thing. But you don't start in the middle.
Well, just tell
You
me,
meet in the middle.
how are you going to turn out your base when you're running a fucking Republican-like candidate? Like, I remember watching the debates between Hubble and Reynolds. Reynolds just sounds like way right-wing, and then Hubble just sounds like a moderate Republican. How are you going to get the young people in Iowa and the progressive people to turn out for someone like that?
You're not.
They have this goal. They're going to win over, like, centrist Republicans. Dude, they're never going to vote for a Democrat. The large majority of them. They hate the Democratic Party. It literally brings them pain to even think about registering as a Democrat. They're not going to do it.
You have to get, your best chance of winning is to get full-blown left Democrats out to vote. And they don't come out to vote for half-assed measures.
No. What's the point?
People are fucking suffering in this country. They don't make enough money. They don't have health care. They're fucking going bankrupt. There's no jobs. They're not coming out to vote for Joe Biden, brother. He sucks dicks.
Dude, he can barely form a cohesive sentence. So when you ask him an actual tough
He said
question,
that he was attacked by a man named Corn Pop.
No, and
He's insane.
And then he starts adjusting your jacket like he's a mob boss.
That was pretty, okay, like, that was epic, though.
Not to me, dude.
I thought it was epic.
Like, why are you touching this guy? Like, we're going to talk about that in a second probably, but
It was awesome, man.
just, I don't know, man. If it was, like, if I always say, if it was Bernie, people would act different. Imagine Bernie, like, adjusting this
I
guy's
would love
jacket. It's like a Biden supporter.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it
It's
was
fucked
great.
up. I don't know.
Dude, yeah, well, and Joe Biden even looks like a mob boss in a weird way. You know what I mean?
Well, dude, and you can just tell, past his nice guy persona, he's a fucking asshole.
Oh, yeah.
You can just tell he's not a nice guy.
Yeah, and he's, dude, I wonder if that interview was towards night. Because, dude, you know, like when people have Alzheimer's or dementia,
It gets worse.
they have downing. It's called downing or whatever. And you can, like, tell, because, dude, he seems like during the day, seems mostly there. But then, like, when there's things at night, he just becomes, like, completely incoherent. And it's fucking wild. But I guess maybe, yeah, since we're already on the topic of Joe Biden, we could talk for a minute about kind of what happened. Where is that at? Yeah, so Joe Biden was in Iowa and doing a photo op. I'm sure he did a speech and shit right before, maybe. Doing a photo op, probably fundraising, all that good Democratic stuff. Mm-hmm. And this voter came up to him, and I actually might have the video, but this voter came up to him, and the voter asked him a question about pipelines, like, hey,
like, how are we going to take on climate change if you're still, like, for, like, building new pipelines?
Yep, exactly. And
you can tell Biden, right when he hears climate change, it's a triggering fucking word. One of the leading Democratic candidates hears climate change, and it's like fucking triggering to him.
It's
You
like
just tell
fucking
he's
holy
like,
water.
Oh fuck. He's like, great.
yeah, now
Because he knows he doesn't have a good stance.
He's not going to do
raising
anything.
money from these people.
He gets money from all the big oil companies, dude. He's not going to do anything to change the environmental catastrophes that we're facing. And dude, here's the thing. We can't fuck around anymore, dude. We need a Green New Deal. We need to get off of fossil fuels. The planet is going to be uninhabitable within 20 years for human beings.
And I gotta say, this voter ticked me off too, because he's so passionate about this shit, but then he says he's voting fucking Steyer.
I thought that was funny as fuck.
Yeah, well, yeah, oh yeah, but like Biden assumes he's a Bernie guy.
Yeah.
But the thing is, even Biden has a decent
I thought
attack
that
on
was funny,
Steyer.
though.
Even Biden, like, the guy's made his money from coal and shit, and
Yeah.
this is the guy you're trusting that's going to take on climate change.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought that was really, and we'll just play this video for you guys, but it was really telling of like Joe Biden knows he's up against the press with Bernie because he immediately assumed that guy was a Bernie guy.
Oh yeah,
you know,
he's sick of it.
That made me happy.
He can't handle these attacks.
But yeah, anyway, so this guy Joe Biden kind of like gets all mob boss on him and like pokes him in the chest and like straightens out his jacket.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck.
So I can't play a video for you guys, but I will play the audio here. So let me, maybe. The fuck is this? That's an advertisement. Where is it, dude? Hang on, I'm sorry, guys.
Should be. This is fucking ridiculous.
Where'd it go?
Wow.
Hang on.
This is fucking embarrassing. We got all this dead airtime.
Oh well. I can cut it out if I need to.
A lot of people have fucking tuned out.
What the fuck, dude?
Wow, dude.
Shut up. Oh, fuck it. Sorry, it was trying to play a fucking ad, and I don't understand why. Oh, it's got the ad still. Well, I'm gonna let that load up a little bit. Yeah, there's a goddamn ad. Fuck you guys. Anyway, but yeah, going on with Joe Biden, man. I don't see how anybody in their right mind, as uninformed as you can be. Okay, so say you're just 100% uninformed. Like you don't know dick. You just follow the shit. How? And you just vote for like superficial shit, like a person's age.
Still wouldn't be Biden for me, dude.
Exactly.
It would fucking. At least Buttigieg, if you like bullshit, it's young and...
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's not even good in the superficial, shitty ways.
Remember that tweet from Buttigieg? I just gotta say it.
Which one?
It's not about the president. It's about the presidency.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like,
I don't know. I've been laughing about that.
That's really fucking insightful.
It's deep.
and it's all yeah, man.
Fresh
yeah, we don't clap. We're
or even Klobuchar,
funky,
I would probably pick over Biden.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that fucking Klobuchar thing.
Where she says the same joke 20 times. We could play that.
Yeah. I'm gonna play this for you guys. So this is the exchange between Joe Biden and this voter, and it's fucking hilarious. So.
Well, what are we going to do about climate change? Now, you say you're against pipelines, but then you want to replace these gas lines. That's not going to work. We got to stop building and replacing pipelines. I'm going to go vote for somebody else.
All right, thanks so much, sir. We're going to have you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I'm going to vote you in the general if you treat me right.
No, I'm not.
Well, can I
No, I'm not.
You come in and tell me you don't support me.
No.
My plan. Yeah, you did. You said
I said I will support you in the general.
in the general. I'm looking for a primary.
We're happy to get a number.
You can't get a prime minister. Fuck
You
you.
believe that Bernie can do something and by 2030?
I'm actually supporting Tom Steyer.
Thompson, well, that's good. He's the guy that did
Thanks
more
so much,
coal
sir. We
mines.
have a long line. We have a long line.
More coal than the entire country made.
All right, we're happy to get information.
Can we get a picture?
We're gonna.
And the guy asks for a picture at the end,
love
and
that,
Biden
though.
says no. It cuts
Yeah.
it out.
I just love that because he's like,
Dude, this guy is saying
the
he'll
whole
vote for
thing.
you in the general election, and you're pretty much telling him to fuck off.
Yeah, man.
God,
I'm looking for a primary. He's like, I'll vote for that. That was the funniest part. He's like, I'll vote for you in the general election if you treat me right. He's like, no, I'm not. I ain't gonna treat you right, dude. It's fucking hilarious, man. Hilarious. So we're already getting pretty close to an hour, but we got a few more things I want to talk about. So I want to jump into this Fox News analyst calling it quits. His name was Ralph Peters. He was a former lieutenant colonel, and I don't know how he ended up quitting and stuff, but when he quit, he ended up sending out like an angry email. And he essentially called the broadcasting company a propaganda machine. I have some quotes from him. And this is from the letter that he sent out, the memo that was leaked. He said, I cannot in good conscience remain with an organization that is now wittingly harming our system of government for profit. In my view, Fox has degenerated from providing a legitimate and much-needed outlet for conservative voices to a mere propaganda machine for a destructive and ethically ruinous administration. Over my decade with Fox, I long was proud of the association. Now I am ashamed.
See, it's good, but like we were talking about before this started, like, this guy's a piece of shit still and, like, helped get us into Iraq, right?
Yeah.
Helped push for Iraq.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's like, dude, they don't hate Trump for his policies, a lot of them. They hate him for his rhetoric and, like, his mean tweets.
Yeah. Yeah, he's embarrassing.
It's not the
ruling class.
Fucked up policy. Yeah,
they love the fucked up policy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's just embarrassing. Like this isn't the brand of fascist corporatism that we want to project to the American people.
Yeah,
It's
fucking weird, dude.
So yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, this guy Ralph Peters, he did get us into Iraq. He was a vocal critic of Obama, even though they're all in the same fucking club. I mean, the guy's full of shit, but it doesn't matter in that what he said is very true.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like to have somebody that's worked with them for 10 years come out and say this is a fucking propaganda machine. And let's be frank, CNN, MSNBC ain't a lot better. But Fox is just full on overboard. Like they don't even like really try to come off as a modicum of truth and shit. They're just
they used to kind of. They used to try to be more
now it's just
hidden with their fucking that they're trying to be propagandists, but now it's just like some of the people on there, especially, and the way they just call like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren communists and shit.
Oh, I know. That's
it's
what
like they don't even try to have real discourse. They just
they're trying to stir up the base of people that they know are going to vote Republican.
Oh, and when Trump started doing the Iran shit,
yeah,
I saw these one guys, dude, just pushing for war, man. Fucking
who?
One of the fucking people on Fox. I can't remember his fucking name, but just flat out pushing for war. No questions asked, just wants the war.
Yeah,
even Geraldo Rivera was like, dude, they lied us. The intelligence agencies have lied to us before. Why are we trusting them now? And this guy's like, the guy acts like all shocked, like they didn't lie to us. I don't know, even though it's fact that they did. It's
exactly.
fucked up.
Well, and actually, this goes into the next thing that this Ralph Peters is saying. That goes along with what I'm saying. Like, this is a great thing that he came out and like called Fox News what it is. But he goes on to say, Fox dismisses facts and empirical reality to launch profoundly dishonest assaults on the FBI, the Justice Department, the courts, the intelligence community, like you were saying, Johnny, and not least a model public servant and genuine war hero such as Robert Mueller. Meanwhile, Robert Mueller, we all know, is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I think you were telling me before didn't he help to also get us into these wars and shit?
Dude, he was like the leader of the FBI at the time of the Iraq War and helped lie.
Yeah.
Said there was weapons of mass destruction.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
So I was all on board with Ralph Peters. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. And then I read that and I was like, oh, never mind. But yeah, Fox News came out with this response. Ralph Peters is entitled to his opinion despite the fact that he's choosing to use it as a weapon in order to gain attention.
I would have thought they were going to attack him a little more.
Yeah, but still, they said what they needed to say.
I just expected a little worse. Like, Ralph Peters was never our friend.
Fuck
He's a sack of shit.
Yeah.
Like,
no, they couldn't do that. Because that would discredit them, you know what I'm saying? I guess... What are we at for time there, Roman? We got about 50 minutes down there, it looked like.
10 more minutes.
10 more minutes? Okay. So, we had a few other things we want to talk about, but the main thing I want to talk about, since the caucus in Iowa is coming up February 3rd, is this article Johnny and I read and a few associated articles. The DNC is preparing for a contested convention. Mm-hmm. We know that Bernie Sanders is surging. We know that the establishment is terrified. If there weren't any way for them to do any of their fucking witchcraft fuckery, Bernie would win as a fucking landslide.
Yeah.
And they're afraid. And so Tom Perez, who's the main motherfucker for the
He's just a puppet for the corporations and banks and shit.
Yes, exactly.
He was the Secretary of Labor, but he's like anti-labor. Under Obama, he was Secretary of Labor. Which just shows how Obama was a piece of shit because he hires these scumbags.
Yeah, no, exactly. Tom Perez is a big fucking...
Should have been Keith Ellison. Ellison was getting votes even from some establishment people.
Yep.
And it was Bernie was pushing for him. And at the last minute, Obama made phone calls to get Perez shoved in.
That was a whole fucking fun thing, wasn't it? I remember that. That would have changed the course.
I remember when Bernie was doing the Unity tour with the Democratic Party. This was after Hillary's loss.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Well, Perez was on stage and just get hardcore booed. And you could tell he was like kind of like, oh shit. So then he would be like, well, Bernie is going to be coming. And then the crowd would like cheer.
Yeah, I remember that, dude. That was awesome.
Awkward as fuck.
Yeah. So the main thing that's been going on is they know Bernie, without any of their deviltry, is going to win. and they don't want that. That's going to fuck up the whole power system. It's going to fucking change everything, and they don't want it. So Tom Perez has made all these appointments to different levels of the Democratic committee. Namely, Barney Frank, a co-chair, is being made a co-chair of Convention Rules Committee. This guy came out and said a bunch of negative shit about Bernie in the past.
Well, and here's who Barney Frank is. He was fucking on like a regulatory committee for the banks.
Yes.
And then after he retires from Congress or whatever, goes and starts working for the banks.
That's exactly, because dude, when I was reading this article, I was like, Barney Frank, where the fuck have I heard that name before? And then you just fucking put it together.
And then he got caught like helping run a bathhouse in New York or something. Like, he's a fucking shady ass cocksucker.
I ain't got nothing against bathhouses, though.
Yeah, but he's just a shady guy.
But, yeah.
He's a corrupt-ass Democrat. Like.
Yeah, and he's definitely against Bernie. I have a couple quotes here. Bernie was in Congress for 25 years with little to show for it in terms of his accomplishments. Bernie voters, quote-unquote, don't have a very realistic sense of the political process.
Yeah, the political process of these people is the things they're supposed to be overseeing is taking the money from them.
Yes.
Dude, it's fucking ridiculous. These people need to fucking be jailed.
Yeah, we don't have a very realistic understanding of the political process. Actually, we do, and we know it needs to be fucking overturned and burned with fucking fire, because it's a bunch of shit.
Yep.
So next on the list is one of our favorite people ever. Real great guy. Nothing weird about him. John Podesta.
You can go to his Twitter, and he gets ratioed in every post he makes, and he gets called a pedophile. I wonder why. Look it up.
Because he is. We know.
He's very
We
likely
know
a
about
pedophile.
Pizzagate, brother.
Yeah.
Good old Skippy.
You can go look up the email to Podesta
What's
where they
my
talk
name?
about bringing
Skippy.
three little kids to a pool party for entertainment.
Hey, maybe they were musicians, man.
No,
you don't know.
he's a weirdo.
They're probably musicians.
He's one of the most hated
clowns.
guys in politics, and they just put him in charge again.
Yeah, no, he's an absolute piece of shit, man. He's being put to the Rules Committee. He had DNC leaked emails against Bernie saying Bernie must be ground to a pulp, and where would you stick the knife in?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is legit. You can look it up. It was some WikiLeaks shit with the DNC. It's still out
He's the
there.
one who came up with a lot of this Russia shit, too.
Yeah.
The day after Hillary Clinton lost and the book shattered, they talk about how Podesta and a bunch of other high Democratic elites wanted to come up with why they lost.
Yeah.
Russia is... He blames Russia for the hacking of his emails, yet he left his phone in a taxi.
Oh, yeah, I remember
His
that.
password was password.
That's awesome.
He's
dude.
a dumbass.
Yeah. Next up is Alex Padilla being made vice chair of the platform committee, which is the platform committee is like what things are the Democrats running on? Gay marriage, universal health care, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
This guy, do you know anything about
I
him?
actually don't know very much about
He
this
was
guy.
one of the ones that refused to count 2 million votes in California primary.
Nice.
That guy, remember
Nice.
him?
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
When Hillary gave her victory speech as people were still voting.
Yeah, she won, dude. Wait, did she end up winning Cali?
Well, yeah.
I don't remember.
It was
That's right.
predetermined she was going to be winning California.
Yeah, so this guy stashed 2 million votes. 2 million people.
That's why I'm sketched out about California this go around.
I am too, but like I've said before on another podcast, the confidence of the Bernie campaign tells me they have a contingency plan.
Let's hope.
Let's hope. Next up is Minion Moore, part of the Credentials Committee, which I don't know exactly what that is, but I don't know if this is a guy or a girl. Minion, so, that's a great name. He is. He or she, I'm not sure, sorry about that, but was a senior advisor for the Clintons in 2008 and got caught with a violation of campaign finance laws involved with a Jeff Thompson who made millions in illegal campaign contributions to Hillary Clinton.
Cool.
So we know he's got our back. Next up is Randy Weingarten, which is an excellent
Definitely
name.
heard of that name before.
We have. Platform Committee, involved in pay-to-play scheme with the Clinton Foundation.
Oh, yeah.
Which that was what? Give money to our foundation and we'll get you a good job in the government and something, right? Probably. And last is Jake Sullivan, vice chair of the Platform Committee, was Clinton's senior foreign policy advisor.
Yeah, dude. Literally the worst people in the party are being put in charge of fucking...
Yeah, Yeah, the literal figureheads of corruption and fucking disgusting.
I am going to
treachery in
enjoy
this country.
seeing, because, last convention, how they tried to make it seem like the party was unified, and it was weird. It was not what a convention should be like.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what a contested convention looks like in the modern day. 'Cause it's where
We're
a
not
bunch
going
of
to take it, dude. I can tell you right now. Like, it's going to be bad if they actually succeed in fucking us. Dude, it's...
like Crystal Ball says, it'll be the death of the Democratic Party if they rob Bernie.
It will. They will never win elections again, dude. Ever. Because,
Rightfully so.
dude, I'm not.
That's
I'm
the
not
thing,
doing
dude.
it.
I've literally had someone say, even if they do rob Bernie, we still got to vote Democrat. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Fuck you, dude.
Dude, if you don't reward the people who robbed you, or they're going to continue to always rob you because you reward them for robbing you.
Yeah, but they're just so afraid of Donald Trump, but they don't realize the Democrats are going to do the same shit. It's just going to be a lot prettier.
Yeah. That's all some people
that's
care
what's
about,
going on, man. Pretty much what it comes down to is Bernie is going to have to get 51% of the vote, which is essentially a super majority.
I've heard even at 51%, they can try to fuck him still. So, and that's the thing. Like, there's current rules right now, but they could change that the day before the convention because all these people who...
Yeah, all these people that are on there now, they can change the
like
rules.
a lot of
whenever they
these
want.
rules are just to look good, and they thought for sure it would be like Kamala or someone was leading anyway, so they could it'd be fine. Mm-hmm. Now that they see Bernie is probably going to fucking win Iowa, he's going to win New Hampshire. Mm-hmm. They could start changing rules at any time.
That's the purpose of putting all these people into power like they did.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm very hopeful that we can win this thing. The confidence of the Bernie campaign tells me that they have a contingency plan to maybe, if there's fuckery, they can be like, yo, this is bullshit, we'll take it to the court system. That's what I think could happen. But it needs to be known that even though he's leading throughout the country in a lot of places, don't put your guns down yet. You know what I'm saying? You got to turn out in caucus and primary. You fucking have to.
Well, yeah. Well, even
bring your friends. Fuck.
Even the way they're covering Bernie right now, I do feel they are trying to get people complacent to not go out and vote. With the recent coverage of Bernie Sanders leading in the polls and shit.
Yeah.
Because they know with Hillary Clinton, they covered it so like she was going to win. It actually stifled the vote because people were like, well, I'm not going to turn out and vote because she's going to win anyways.
Yeah.
And so they know that they're able to do that to people. So I feel like
do you think that's why they're actually being like Bernie's surging and you're seeing all these articles? I didn't even think about that.
Dude,
that's probably true.
They've tried to stop them in other ways and they're like, fuck. So let's try to make people overconfident.
Yeah, that's genius, man. Don't fucking fall for it, dude. You got to turn out and vote. Turn out and vote. Do you want to win by 1 point or do you want to put your fucking dick in their mouth with 200
dude,
fucking
I got
points?
kids that I work with who never have voted like ever.
Yeah.
Going.
Yeah. And yeah, man, I'm excited. And I'm getting some people I know out too, and hopefully all of our subscribers, if you're subscribed to this channel, turn out to vote. Go to caucus, go to primary. Wherever, whenever it is in your state, figure it the fuck out. You can call the Bernie campaign, they'll set you up. All right? Anyway, I think we should wind it down here. We said some more things we want to talk about. I'll just touch on them real quick. The main thing is the Yellow Vest movement in France, still going on. And recently, firefighters turned out and did like symbolic gesture where their pay and benefits and shit hasn't gone up since the 1990s. And they showed up and like set their suits on fire as like a symbolic gesture. And then they got into a huge clash with police. And it was epic as fuck because like both sides are wearing armor. So they're all like, ah.
Yeah.
So it was literally like some medieval ass shit. So maybe look into that guys on your own time or whatever. But yeah, we're going to wind it down here. I think we did an hour, so I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, help us grow. Like I said, we're doing 5 subs a day, man. That's great, man. June 30th or July 1st, we need to have 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of watch time, and we can join the YouTube partnership program, and I really feel like things will start to snowball. And we're going to take off, man. You guys can join our Facebook community. Just type in Entitled Millennials on Facebook. We got memes. We got articles. Johnny and I write some stuff. If you want to contribute to the Facebook page, you can write an article piece, 600 to 1,200 words about whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't even have to be politics. send a headshot, send a bio from the third person, and we will publish it on the Facebook page and eventually on our website. Also, I want to start doing a segment where we take calls. We don't have a Skype set up yet, but in the meantime, write me an email at entitledmillennialsnetwork@gmail.com asking a question, asking us to cover a topic, asking us what our thoughts are, and we'll talk about it on the podcast because I want to incorporate you guys on that. As far as announcement goes, that's pretty much it. If you want to support the podcast more, if you want to help us get and create more content, well, we need to start having money come in. I know we're early on, but you can subscribe to my Patreon at patreon.com/double_D. I do poetry, I do flash fiction, I do short stories that have a lot of subject coverage, but they tend to be political orientated. I did one short story called Guilt, which is about a cult of baby blood drinking CEOs running the country. So that might be interesting. Go and check that out. You can subscribe for as little as $3 a day, all the way up to $15 a day. It would make a huge difference in our life. If you want to further support the podcast, you can check out our sponsor, Bingley's Teas, at janeaustinteas.com. She has amazing teas like from all over the world. She travels the world and like hand picks them and then brings them back to her shop and studio and mixes them into these like really awesome blends. So if you're a tea drinker, check them out. Go to the website. Or you can visit her in person at 118 East 26th Street, suite number 208. And she's an amazing person. The studio is awesome. It's a real excellent experience. So go and visit her, guys. But yeah, that's it, guys. This has been episode number 22 of the Entitled Millennials. It's been really great hanging out with you guys. We'll see you next time, all right? Take it easy. Bye.